Hi, what is up? How are you doing? Hello, hello, hello. I just love that I am outside right now. I don't know why I don't hang out here more often, but what's up? Coming to you live from Missoula, Montana. My name is Alexis Olson. You can call me the Holistic Personal Trainer. I am a certified personal trainer, certified nutrition specialist, full-time entrepreneur. I make my living from going live and working with amazing humans like yourself. So that's a little bit about me. I haven't always been on my game when it comes to health and fitness, and it's really windy out here, so I hope you can hear me. If you aren't able to hear me, please let me know in the comments below so I can go inside. But I really want to be outside for this live video. So yeah, this video is going to be about how I stay motivated to go to the gym every day. And I've had a couple women ask me this and reach out to me about this specifically, so I wanted to go live and tell you all the things and just my perspective on it and my relationship with, I guess, fitness and like showing up for myself and how it's evolved and kind of where I came from. So a little bit more about that. I grew up pretty active. I don't know if anyone played any sports, but I grew up playing soccer. I was put in every sport and then figured out like that was my sport. That's what I wanted to play. And so I did. And I didn't really stick with it because I got into the party scene around the age 16. And from there, like my health just really stopped becoming a priority, and partying and that kind of thing just became more of the motivation. And it wasn't until I was working, I used to work at Netflix, and it was a desk job, and my lifestyle became really sedentary, and I just wanted to lose a few pounds. Hi Lauren, thanks for being on here. And so I started, well, let me just say this, like here's what I know for sure. Is that motivation is temporary. I know that's so cliche, but habit is something that you can actually rely on. So if you focus more on building a habit instead of waiting to feel like it, and just like switching your mindset when it comes to working out, you'll enjoy the process a lot more, and you'll be able to set different goals for yourself, right? And so one of the things that I always say, whether it's in fitness or business, like my goal is to always have new problems. Because if I have new problems, that means I'm growing, right? And so so that could be like right now, maybe your thing is like you're not getting a lot of movement, or maybe you're overweight and you have to lose, I don't know, 30 pounds, 10 pounds, whatever. And you're just like really, or you have really bad energy because of the way you've been eating. What's a different problem you can have? Like, start using your imagination. Our imagination is, to me, the most, I know this for sure, because I've tried everything else when it comes to motivation, but your imagination is the most powerful tool, and you can always tap into it. And so I say that because when it comes to using your imagination, it's like thinking about what other problems could you be having, like, right? So it's like getting your energy behind what the next step, what this next version of your lifestyle looks like. And so that could be anything from like, man, I can't break a 12-minute mile, or I want to hit 12,000 steps every single day. Right now I'm only at 8,000 or 10,000 steps a day. Like, these are different problems to have, right? Or say you're not working out right now, but a new problem that you could have in the future is, man, I can't bench more than 50 pounds. So just like start thinking about new problems that you can have and looking forward to those new problems, because I think one of the biggest thing that I've been learning just in like the personal development world is, and like reflecting on my own journey, is that this like negativity, or if you're someone who's like doubting themselves, or like you struggle with self-sabotage, that cycle can be addictive in itself. And so I'm always thinking like, okay, if that's how a lot of us humans are, then why can't we use that to our advantage, right? So like, for example, the like struggling with something new, thinking about what your new struggle could be. Does that make sense? Like your new struggle could be, I'm only going to one group fitness class a week instead of 2. And like, I want to be going to 2. Like that's a different problem to have. And so there's always different levels to everything, and thinking about it that way. And then also, the last thing that I wanted to share that's really powerful is your language. And so often, and this is a kind of a law of attraction technique, which is really how I've lived my entire life. The last 6 years is when I really started practicing the law of attraction seriously. But your language is so, so, so powerful. And I was doing this, obviously I didn't know I was doing this. And then once I started researching it and learning about law of attraction, my life started getting way, 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 way better. But one thing that was working for me really well is I was using the law of attraction and not even really knowing it. And so for me, and it's okay if you're not in this place, because you can choose to be in this place. You can choose to speak about yourself this way. You can choose to speak about yourself to others this way. Is in the beginning when I was really out of shape, I could barely go up the stairs without breathing really heavily. Like my ego and my pride didn't want to admit that. Like I didn't want people to know I was out of shape. Cause it didn't necessarily look like I was super out of shape, but I knew I was. And so I say that because the way that worked in my favor is I didn't talk about myself in the sense of, I didn't say I was lazy. I didn't say I was out of shape. Those things never left my lips. And so the way that translated into action was when people, coworkers, invited me to go on a hike, I didn't want to say no because my ego was like, I don't want people to know I'm not in shape. I don't want people to know this is going to be really challenging for me. So I'd say yes to things, even though deep inside I was unsure if I'd be able to keep up or whatever. And so just saying yes to more things, or even inviting other people to things that seems kind of scary and outside of your comfort zone is really helpful. And then also, if on the other side of that, if you are someone who, just start bringing some awareness to your language. So if you are someone who, hey Michael, thanks. So if you are someone who does say I'm lazy, or I'm just going to sit on my ass, or I'm so out of shape, even though I do think that there's a positive aspect of being able to be real and assess where you're at. As long as you slowly start shifting your language, it doesn't have to be complete 180. It doesn't have to be from reality to now you feel like you're lying to yourself. You can slowly start shifting your language. So instead of saying things like I'm lazy, you can say, I'm really not motivated right now, but I know that if I want more energy, I have to move, and then I will have more energy, right? So instead of saying I'm lazy, which is more of an upstream thought, you can say, I haven't worked out in a really long time, but I'm willing to change that. But that's not going to stay the same. That's a downstream thought. You can say I'm really uncomfortable in my body, but I know if I do just a little bit every day, if I just walk to the mailbox, if I just walk a block, if I know that I'm uncomfortable in my body, but if I park at the furthest parking spot in the grocery store, that those little things are going to add up. That's a downstream thought. I was never athletic growing up. That's an upstream thought. I wasn't athletic when I was growing up, but there's plenty of people that also weren't athletic that now have really healthy lifestyles. That's a downstream thought. Do you see what I'm saying? Slowly, gradually making those shifts. And then eventually, certain things won't come out of your mouth, right? So now where I'm at, and it's all relative, and now where I'm at, I'm really cognizant about not saying oh, I'm fat. Or or my thighs are really big, even though I do have big thighs. What I say is oh, I have really strong legs. Oh, I'm really excited for my legs to start leaning up. I talk about it as if I'm sure of where I'm going. even if I might not feel that way, I just make, because what we say, the tongue is so powerful. It even says that in the Bible, right? It's so powerful. So watch your language. Watch your language with everything. And back to habits, start using your imagination. Like, what does be realistic. What does your schedule look like? I had to go to the track at nighttime after I got off from work because I would go to school in the morning before my work shift. And so working out at night was the only time I had to work out. And so what I would do is I wouldn't get too ahead of myself. I was like, okay, I'm just going to put my workout clothes on at work before I leave work. And then when I would get home, I'd be like, okay, I'm already dressed. I'm going to show up to the track. I'm going to walk to the track, or I'm going to drive to the track, and then I'm just going to walk. And then walking became like, I'm just going to run the curves, or the straightaways or whatever on the track. And like that type of habit, that's addicting. That becomes addicting, and in a really positive way, right? And so then you start having you just get in the habit of it. So like, what can you change? How do you fill the gap? Like, do you need to get dressed? Do you need to lay your workout clothes out? Do you need to have your pre-workout already shooken up next to your bedstand, so when you wake up, you can start drinking it if you're going to work out in the morning? Like, what little things can you do to change the habits, to break up the pattern? Where can you have that buffer when you would normally sit down and eat a gallon of ice cream to maybe you start buying healthier ice cream? Like, it doesn't have to be this crazy 180 change. I think so many of us try to go from 0 to 100, and then we just wonder why we're not doing anything still. So make little changes and stack those habits. Pick one thing. Maybe it's just water. I always like to focus on, for everyone it's different. Some people really like to focus on their nutrition first, and then they feel like having the energy to go work out. Some people like to get in the gym, and they feel like after, moving their body, they're more motivated to eat healthy. So just know, I think it's really about tuning in to what you feel will work for you, and ignoring all of this noise, ignoring all of this advice out there, and just really tuning into okay, what do I feel like would be a good place for me to start? Which aspect do I want to start working on for me, that I know I can celebrate as I go. And that's the next thing. That's so important, is that if you do park further away from the grocery store, you want to have that positive reinforcement in your brain. So make it a bigger deal than maybe it is, and hype yourself up. Before you see results, start hyping yourself up. Start building that feeling of being proud of yourself, because the more that you do that, the more your brain is going to link that feeling to doing things like that, to doing things similar in that nature. Does that make sense? So for me, as a holistic personal trainer, I'm really into neuro-linguistic programming, which is all about language and rewiring pathways in your brain through different really easy techniques. And then of course, I have a big background in law of attraction. I've taken courses on law of attraction to just reprogram my brain, and it's really a really powerful tool, as well as journaling. And I always say I journaled my way to lose 40 pounds by just imagining what it would feel like to be 40 pounds less. And then the rest really unfolded so naturally. So if you can get out of talking about how things are right now and use your imagination to think about how you would feel if you were healthier, or whatever your goal is, if you were, able to run a mile, if you can really feel how that would affect the rest of your life, and start imagining that, and start really sitting with those feelings, even meditating with those feelings. If you can get into that practice alone, if that's all you do, you can achieve anything that you want. You can achieve anything that you want. So it's a very personal journey. It's not about, doing this diet or doing this thing. If you skip those parts, what I've found, and this is what I help my clients do, I found that things will work, but you don't have the tools or the trust within yourself, and you aren't tapped into your intuition to continue to sustain those results, right? And so those are just a few of the things that have really helped me. And always, as always, be really kind to yourself. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate the small things, and reach out if you need help. I would 100% not be where I'm at if I didn't invest in trainers, if I didn't hire coaches to help me. Sometimes that's all the difference you need, is just someone that objective voice to remind you of what works and to believe in you. So I believe in you. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your Monday, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.